It's easy to talk about all the great things that have happened during one's career, but when you look back on it and you try and think of, the one thing that could have ended horribly that didn't, that's something else. And Dan Thompson, my colleague, and I worked on a record in Israel. It was a Michael Feinstein live with the Israeli Philharmonic Orchestra. So we had to bring a lot of equipment with us, including a euphonics digital machine, and because they had no tape machines there except for a bunch of D88s. So we routed the system. We wanted the D88s as a backup because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to record Michael and the Israeli Philharmonic. And so we hooked up all the signal through the euphonics machine and then routed that to the D88s, and so that we could record the D88s as a backup. Everything went fine, and it was perfect. The recording sounded great. It's a lovely album. I still enjoy hearing it. And when Dan and I got back, I don't know what made us think of it, but we realized that if the euphonics had crashed, that the D88 would have crashed as well because all the signal was going through the euphonics to get to the D88. We didn't have a split to go the two machines separately, and it could have been absolutely catastrophic, but fortunately it wasn't. But I still, to this day, it reminds me, because I still do a lot of live recording. I'm doing one in a couple of weeks here about how to make sure to set things up so that you have a backup. It's a real backup and you don't lose anything. One of the best things I've worked on recently, it was actually about a 2.5-year project, was archiving all the analog reels of music from Star Wars episodes 1 through 6. Dan Thompson and Sean Murphy and Mark Wilshire and I worked on the project together. It was fantastic spending so much time listening to the genius of John Williams and his music over the decades that span the first 6 Star Wars episodes. We transferred all the music to high-resolution digital, 32-bit 192, and then created some templates for EQ, so to give all those episodes a somewhat continuous sound, and created 5.1 in stereo of those. And the stereos were re-edited to conform to the original CD releases by Mark Wilshire, and then Pat Sullivan mastered those, and those are now out as 6 remastered CDs from episodes 1 through 6. And, if it's the last thing I do here, it will have been well worth it. It's funny that I ended up working at a place that is a post-production place for film and television, like Skywalker Sound, because my miking technique really is as much about trying to take a sonic picture of what it is I'm trying to mic as much as it is what the sound is going to be. If there is any trademark to what I do, that's what I strive for, so that the instruments sound like what they're supposed to in the context of what they're supposed to sound like. Not every snare drum should have the same sound based on the type of music that it is. Not every singer should have the same sound. Not every microphone is great for every singer. So it really depends on what it is I'm trying to hear at that particular time, what the context is, and how it all fits in, whether it's a composer's record or a singer's record or a band. What is the microphone seeing, almost like a camera lens, and how is it going to be representative of the sound that I'm going for?